I bought this car in 2022 from my old boss at the Mercedes-Benz Classic Center, Nate Lander. He bought it from an intern from Germany who had bought it and used it when in Los Angeles. It's a lifelong Orange County car. I bought it with 100,000 miles after Nate had done quite a bit of work to it. He did a head gasket. He did, transmission service, diff service, various assorted, jobs to the car. I bought the car and have driven it about 50,000 miles since then as an everyday commuter in Long Beach and in New Jersey, where I shipped it last year. So never stranded me, always been a reliable, durable car. I have even a set of snow tires for it, Hakkapelitas that are 1 year old. I've done various work to almost all systems of the car. I've done multiple transmission services every 25,000 miles, as is best for the 722.6 transmission. I've done consistent oil changes. I've done an oil pressure sender. I've done an oil level sender, cabin air filters, engine air filter, brake fluid flushes, dual control valve for the climate control, AC recharge. I had the head unit repaired by Becker of New Jersey, during which they also converted it over to Bluetooth, which works flawlessly. Replaced the third brake light. I've replaced the driver's seat belt. All sorts of little things that tend to fail on these cars. I've gone through. I've replaced both side mirror lenses, and their motors. I've replaced motor mounts. I've replaced spark plugs. I've replaced the transmission mount. I've replaced coil packs and ignition leads. Before the sale, I will rebuild the front suspension and steering components and replace both auxiliary cooling fans. The car, never runs hot, shows good oil pressure at cold and hot idle and under load. All electronics work correctly. All soft close functions and courtesy functions work correctly. I replaced the PSE pump with a rebuilt, with actually a new pump from Mercedes. This is the second W140 S-Class I've owned. The first being an S420, bought from my colleague Jamie Kopczynski at Classic Workshop. I love W140 S-Classes. I think they are the high point of Mercedes-Benz engineering and build quality. They are quiet, comfortable, safe, fast, relatively efficient cars. They are probably the number one car I'd want to be in a collision. The bodyguard in the front seat of Princess Diana's S320 limousine in Paris, I guess, survived the 75-mile-an-hour collision into a concrete abutment because he was wearing a seatbelt, and she would have lived had she been wearing her seatbelt. This is a final year car, being a 99, which has a lot of the improvements, various HVAC improvements, a slight bit of decontenting that I think makes a lot of sense, getting rid of a few novelty functions that are usually just break immediately and are expensive to replace. These cars still have all the functions that I think make W140s special. Power folding mirrors and automatic closing windows and soft closed doors, anti-lock brakes, obviously, ASR. The final year cars, or the last few years of production, including final year cars, are free of any wiring harness issues that the earlier cars have. So being a 99, this is the original harness, and it's perfect and will never have any issues, unlike 92s, 3s, 4s, 5s, which are either need a harness or already had a harness, and those harness issues can be pretty frightening because often it's not just the engine harness, which is relatively easy to replace and relatively affordable, and if not available from Mercedes, is being reproduced in Europe, but can also stretch into harnesses that go deeper into the body, which become a massive undertaking to repair. Many thousands or tens of thousands of dollars of labor. Later cars also have the 5-speed 722.6 electronically controlled transmission, which I think is a much better fit for the car. The cars start in first gear, not second, which makes them feel much faster off the line. My seat of the pants opinion is that a 99 or 90, 97, 98, 99 S320 feels quicker than a earlier pre-facelift S420, even with the M119 V8, purely because you have to really downshift aggressively for the earlier 4-speed transmission to start in first. The 5-speed also gets better fuel economy. It shifts in a more modern way, but it's still infinitely rebuildable, and parts are available, and various people do high quality rebuilds of them for affordable prices. That said, this car has had religious transmission services and shows every 25,000 mile oil change interval shows very clean transmission fluid, red, no burnt smell or any signs of banned material. I increasingly feel that the S-Classes, Sonderklasse cars are, special class in German, are just the Mercedes to have. They are so exceptional. They have such a good mix of body control and comfort and performance, and so I've really narrowed in on S-Classes as being my main interest. I love all generations of S-Class pretty much. I can't think of one I don't like. There isn't one I don't like. I would drive everything from a 108 or even a 112 car. It's sort of not really an S-Class, but from a 108, 116, 126, 140, 220, 221, 222 is an excellent run of cars. I feel like the 140 hits the sweet spot where it has the Mercedes character of a 116 or a 126, and you recognize a lot of that quality in the car still, but it has the modernity of a 220 or a 221, and the creature comforts and the increased safety and the more sophisticated traction control, which is non-existent on earlier cars, and they are galvanized and way better protected against rust and other paint issues and body issues. The interiors wear very well. I love 126 cars also, but getting out of a 140 and into a 126 for me always feels like a serious downgrade. And I think historically the prices of these cars have been kept down a little bit by the fact that they were extremely expensive cars, new and very complicated, but I have found them to be really a joy to work on. I think Mercedes was beginning to streamline a lot of the service and a lot of the systems by this point, and I've gone through, as I said, the PSE system, from soft closed doors to the courtesy lever for the trunk to the vacuum controlled bladders for the seat lumbar support, and I find all these systems are easy to troubleshoot. Parts are still available from Mercedes, which I think is a real treat. That you can get all sorts of things you wouldn't expect that you can get, and the pricing is not too bad, honestly. So for me, if I could only have one Mercedes, I think 126 would also be a nice car to have, and I've had them. I had a 300 SDL for a long time, and I work on them regularly, and I also like them, but to me, this is the sweet spot car.